the 2nd of May 2020, Thor Bjornsson will attempt to break Eddie Hall's previous 500 kilo deadlift record. I'm Chris Gray, and let's get jiggy. Now, for those that aren't familiar with the strength world, let's look back. 2016, Eddie Hall deadlifted 500 kilos. Oh, you gonna get it. You gonna get it. You gonna get it. I am the dead. To gain 36 kilos on a deadlift at that level is astronomical. It's like a striker going from 30 goals a season, which is amazing, to 60 goals a season. It's that big a jump, and it was that big a deal in the strength community. This is an outstanding record, considering the previous record, I believe, held by Eddie Hall was only at around 464 kilos. I say only at around, but that's still an astounding amount to deadlift. Now, Big Thor has stated for ages that he will eventually break Eddie's record of 500 kilos. Between those two guys, there's been a massive rivalry that's been going on for years. It mostly reached a head at the 2017 World's Strongest Man, where it was down to the Viking press event. How these things are administered is there's a judge that counts the validity of the reps. If a ref doesn't think a rep counts, that's it. Like, the rep doesn't count. Normally it can't be really bargained with or complained with. What happened is Eddie and Thor were pretty much neck and neck, and Thor had a rep disallowed.
Fuck!
This enraged the big man. Him and his coach, the Australian strength coach, argued with the refs, and it was Magnus that refed it, who is of Finnish lineage and a strongman legend in himself as well. So a pretty official judge, and he comes from the guy's homeland. So it was a pretty fair judging on that rep. Now, ever since that, Thor kind of came out as a baby that a lot of people thought he just threw the dummy out, and to be honest, I kind of had that similar feeling as well. But if I was in the same position, I'd probably react the same. Normally within strength sports, you don't get much out of arguing with the ref. It's very much like rugby. You just kind of take the decision. You can bitch and moan about it all you want, but there's very, very, very little chance that it will get turned over. Now, coming on to the actual record-breaking attempt, there is a lot of shenanigans that are going down. Now, if you've paid any attention to this, you'll know that there's some big shenanigans that are going on with the whole deadlift record attempt. So the official record attempt will be at his own gym with Finnish refs. It gets a bit strange there, and I'll explain why. This has sparked uproar and many a handbags at Dawn's moments from the giant pair in the rivalry, and to be honest, it's caused a lot of discussion within the strongman and powerlifting community, or just strength in general. From an outside perspective, you might be unsure why people consider this a non-official attempt. And I'll tell you, will this attempt count? Well, we need to look a little bit further into it. The difference between powerlifting and strongman is vast. They're hugely different sports. Powerlifting is based around 3 attempts at 3 big lifts: squat, bench and deadlift. I can go further into the minutiae of it in other videos, but pretty much that's what you need to do. 3 lifts, that's it. Strongman is a series of events, different events over different competitions. They're very unlikely that you'll find a competition that has got the same exact run of events. You could be lifting Atlas stones onto your shoulder, you could be placing them on pallets, you could be doing carry events, you could be doing deadlift events, you could be doing deadlift events with different bars. There's very, very little standardisation. So talking about that, we'll go further into powerlifting a little bit. So within the IPF is the sort of overarching federation that covers the sort of drug-tested powerlifting federation. It's the biggest one. It's not necessarily the only one, but if you're going to enter in a powerlifting event, there's a good chance that it's an IPF one. They're the most strict, and they're a federation that incorporate drug tests. So it is a drug, they're attempting to make it a drug-free federation. But within this, everything is standardised. You compete in IPF-approved clothing. You use an IPF-approved barbell, plates and combo rack. There's also stringent rules on how you wear your clothing, even coming down to how you condone yourself on the platform and with officials as well. You can't stomp about swearing, you can't insult people on it normally. It's quite respectful and it's quite low key. There's other federations out there that aren't as stringent and normally don't have drug testing, so if that's more of your cup of tea, you can fire into that as well. Normally, all official attempts, be it records or be it anything, are all at regional, national or international events. You can't just pick up a pile of plates and a bar and say that you're the Scottish or the British record holder on a lift if you can just do it in your own place. Tons of people break records all the time in the gym, but they can't put the performance on when they want to. So the thing is, with Thor's attempt, and I'll give my honest opinion here as well, do I think it'll count? No. I don't think anybody in their right mind will count Thor's attempt on 2nd of May at his own gym to be a credible 500 kilo deadlift attempt. I just don't think it needs to be done at an event. It needs to be done with attempt selections. It needs to be done against people. It needs to be done in a crowd on certain equipment. You can't just do it at a gym. It takes a lot of credibility away from the sport. Now, I'm not saying that he won't be able to do it. I think Thor will be able to do it. I think he's probably is the strongest deadlifter in the world. I think he'll hit the 501, but determining how heated the rivalry is getting between Thor and Eddie, I don't think he'll be happy with just breaking the record by 1 kilo, which his attempt is 501. I think he'll aim to extend it even further beyond what he could do, and I think he'll keep going until he gets an even more absurd record. So another thing that I'm going to say about Strongman is a lot of their events are standardised. So when it comes to the events, like a lot of the time they can have a record on a deadlift, but it's a deadlift, it's only like a partial deadlift, or it's a deadlift using tires, it's a silver dollar deadlift. There's tons of different variations and records within the actual events themselves. So you can have a log press record and an overhead press record that are totally different, but they still stand. So people can literally say they've pressed on a certain bar or they've pulled on a certain bar, and that is the world record for that. So to categorise it as like the world record deadlift still kind of holds a bit of an iffy part. Eddie Hall did pull on a calibrated bar and calibrated plates using a deadlift suit as well. Thor has stated that using an elephant bar, which is longer by the way and a bit more whippier, is sort of harder than what Eddie Hall done because Thor's not wearing a suit. I think that's a load of bullshit, to be honest. If you want to beat the man and you want to take the record, you need to beat it on his terms. Absolutely, I don't think it should be done on this whippy nonsense bar. If anything, it should be done on a deadlift bar. For him to beat the record, it needs to be on the exact same playing field that Eddie had. And that's my thoughts. But that's my thoughts on that topic. If anybody has any opinions on that, just let me know. Thanks very much for watching. If you're interested in any strength coaching or any training within Edinburgh, check out Greymania Fitness on Instagram and Facebook. I'll leave that below. Also check out the GRAYT Cast, available anywhere you listen to podcasts. Again, I'll leave the links below. Thanks for watching.